Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ET Considers Everything podcast for Wednesday, July 6th, 2016. On this edition, I'll be talking about NFL, MLB, NBA, soccer, golf, and tennis headlines that have caught my attention over the past 24 hours. Without further ado, let's get going with this podcast. First thing I would like to talk about this morning is NFL headlines. Allen Robinson was caught over the weekend, found asleep in his car that was actually sinking in a river. And he is lucky to be alive today, and he's very thankful for all the helpers that helped get him out of the car that was sinking, and he's very thankful for all those people that helped him through that tough time. Also, the top 10 players of 2016 will be named tonight on the NFL Network in a 2-hour special. Coverage of that begins at 8 o'clock on NFL Network with players 10 through 6 named, and then players 5 through 1 will be named at 9 o'clock. So, should be a very fun show tonight for that, no doubt about it. MLB news headlines this morning: the Cincinnati Reds defeated the Chicago Cubs yesterday by a score of 9-5. They had a big 2-run home run by Joey Votto in the ninth inning to secure that victory, and they have upset the Chicago Cubs. Also, we had the MLB All-Star Game lineups announced yesterday, and the entire starting infield for the National League will be represented by the Chicago Cubs. This is the first time that has happened since 1963 with the St. Louis Cardinals. A very big feat for the Chicago Cubs, and one that will be remembered, no doubt, throughout the rest of time. The MLB All-Star Game here in 2016 will be played at Petco Park on July 12th at 8 o'clock. NBA headlines this morning: we also have some news that's coming out that the Boston Celtics are interested in trading to Philadelphia for Jahlil Okafor, and also trading to Chicago for Jimmy Butler. Sources close to the situation are saying that they would more likely would like a trade for Jahlil Okafor because they need more big men to seal up the post, but either way, they would be very happy with the trade for either one of those players. As I mentioned yesterday, Kevin Durant signed a 2-year, $54 million contract with a player option after the first year with the Golden State Warriors, a move that many didn't see coming, but it was one that was best for him because he's trying to win an NBA championship, very similar to what LeBron James done the first time when he went from Cleveland to Miami to join up forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Speaking of Dwayne Wade, he's trying to get a 2-year, $50 million contract with the Miami Heat. Miami Heat have offered him a 2-year, $40 million contract, but the Denver Nuggets have a 2-year, $50 million contract up on the table for him right now, and it's going to be very interesting to see if he'll take that offer. Sources close to the situation says that he would prefer to stay in Miami, but if he had a choice, he would like to get more money. So we'll see how that situation unfolds. The Wimbledon Tennis Championships continue today with the men's quarterfinals. Number 2 seed Andy Murray and number 3 seed Roger Federer will be in action today. Number 2 Andy Murray will take on Joe-Wilfried Tsonga, the 10 seed, and number 3 seed Roger Federer will take on the number 9 seed Marin Cilic. Those are the two marquee matchups that take place today. Also, American Sam Querrey is in the quarterfinals. He is the first American to make a quarterfinal appearance at a major tournament since Andy Roddick did so at the 2011 U.S. Open. Golf news this morning: the Greenbrier Classic has been canceled this week at White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, due to all the major flooding in West Virginia. So several of the players that were scheduled to play in that tournament will now go over to Scotland and play in the Aberdeen Scottish Open, which will begin tomorrow morning in Aberdeen, Scotland, 1 week before the British Open Championship will take place at Royal Troon Golf Club. Many of the players in the field include Phil Mickelson, Ricky Fowler, Henrik Stenson, and Rory McIlroy. Those are just a few of the top name players that will be at the Aberdeen Scottish Open, which will begin tomorrow. We have some soccer news to report for you this morning here on the ET Considers Everything podcast. The European Championships continue today with the semifinals. The first semifinal matchup today will be Gareth Bale and Wales taking on Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal. The interesting thing about that matchup is that those two are teammates with Real Madrid of the La Liga, and it's going to be interesting to see which side will move through. Wales has a very important suspension. Aaron Ramsey will miss this match due to the collection of yellow cards that he has had throughout the tournament. So it looks like Portugal will have the advantage going into today's match, but you never really can tell. With Iceland moving through the quarterfinals, this tournament has proved that anything can happen for sure. Coming up this weekend, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is at Kentucky, and Kyle Busch has won several races at Kentucky in his career. He won the inaugural race at the Kentucky Speedway, and he will look to get back momentum. He has had some rough finishes here over the last few weeks, but he will look to pick back up his momentum and try to win his second straight NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship. Brad Keselowski won last week's race at Daytona, and he'll also look to continue his momentum going in. There's only 8 races remaining in the chase to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship before the chase begins. So it's going to be very interesting to see what teams will come up and make themselves the favorites going in to the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship. And that is all the headlines that I have this morning for the ET Considers Everything podcast. If y'all don't mind, like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and as always, I'll give you updates throughout when I can. For now, this is ET Eric Talamons reporting from Pound, Virginia. Hope everybody has a great day, and thank you very much for liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel. Later.